Well, Fight Day has arrived here in Toronto, and it's the one we've all been waiting for, as UFC 297 is headlined by the fight that really almost happened in Vegas a few weeks back. Sean Strickland and Dricus du Plessis. I mean, look, guys, they kind of went to war in T-Mobile, getting a little preview, and, man, that really sparked the interest for what is going on tonight here inside Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Ontario. There is Sean Strickland, not taking any. Would the answer be guff? He doesn't take guff from people, right? Anyway, this is Extra Rounds. TJ DeSantis, Jason Anik, Belal Muhammad. We are in Boston Pizza. Oh man, right off the bat, heavy hitter.
Let's go.
One of the greatest to ever do it. The man is the answer. Frankie Edgar, kind enough to join us. I mean, Frankie, I assume it gets pretty cold in Jersey this time of year, but it doesn't get Toronto cold.
No, this is a little extra cold, man. This weather bites a little bit out there.
Yeah, but you've been busy. You've probably been keeping warm with how much you're moving around. I saw you at Unified MMA last night. Like you're getting the whole MMA experience up here north of the border.
Yeah, for sure. You got to take it all in when you're up here. Hung out with Dana at the fights. It was definitely cool to take in. The Canadian fans are ready for tonight.
They always are, right? Like the Canadian fans, they bring an extra, pardon the heat pun again, but an extra fire to fight week.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I can't believe they're standing outside in that line right now because it's cold as hell.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So you're doing a signing here for Hollerhead at Boston Pizza. Like, I assume you miss coming out to Fight Week and being a part of the fan experience. You still get to do that. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, no, this is cool. I don't do it often. I think I did it back in Jersey when they were in May. So it's good to get out, see some fans, see some some friends, some colleagues, and catch up. So yeah, this is fun for me.
Yeah, I mean, Belal, you get to do it kind of both sides. You get to hang out with us, doing extra rounds. You also still a top shelf contender. What is it like, to rub shoulders with guys like Frankie Edgar when you don't have to go fight? You got to enjoy that too, I would assume.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like I said, Frankie was the first fight I ever went to live. It was something against Great Mater, their second fight, and I always look at it back at it when you see on Facebook where it shows you your memories, and then that was one of my first memories, seeing his fight live. It was like one of the most epic fights that got me loving the sport, and he was always like my favorite fighter. So to be able to call him a friend is like, all right, cool, and he's standing up for me, yo. Belal needs a title fight next. I'm like, bro, I love Frankie.
Hey, and is it a done deal?
Well, yeah, exactly.
That got announced.
Yeah,
exactly.
Talk about that.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Hell yeah. Let's
Dana
go.
listen to Frankie, so we're
That's
good.
it, bro. I put the stamp on it.
But no, for real, like it did become. We knew it was going to happen. It is going to happen. It is your shot. But definitely him speaking on it yesterday. You've been talking about waiting on a date. Like he reaffirmed what he had said verbally a couple months back.
Yeah, that just gives you like a sense of relief. Like even him, everybody's asking me, yo, when is it? When is it? And I was like, I'm waiting for Dana to say it. And then Dana says, it's like, all right, finally, let's go jog.
There you go. There you go. I was thinking about your career earlier today, Frankie, when you fought BJ Penn and you took away the title from, in my opinion at the time, one of the greatest lightweights, if not the greatest lightweight to ever do it. And there was controversy, and you went out there and you put the stamp on it. What was that experience like? Like, obviously you were confident to go out there and fight BJ Penn, but to go out there and get the win and then do it twice, like that's the ultimate in self-belief and confidence, I would assume.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I had to kind of fool myself into thinking I could beat him the first time around, and by the end of the training camp, I definitely believed in myself. I knew, I believed I could do it, but the second time around, I knew I could do it, and that's why, I gave me that little bit of extra confidence. I don't know if DC said it, you get to, or 25% better when you get the belt,
right.
Kind of, I think just gives you that confidence, and confidence is a powerful tool, for a young man, and definitely put that to test, and I wanted to prove a point that second time around. I was able to do it because BJ was the man, to prep for that guy was like a mountain to climb.
Yeah, and then to do it twice, like, that's just crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Definitely.
Looking at your division, the lightweight division, which you're one of the greatest of all time to ever do it. Belal yesterday was hanging out with some fans, and I heard more than one person, Belal, go, dude, you're a welterweight? Like, you're gigantic. But it sort of underlines the fact that you were so small for the 155-pound division. Like, is there any way if you were, prime Frankie Edgar in the modern day that you would still be able to do, what you did at 155?
Yes.
I love it. I love the confidence.
The cream rises to the top.
Yeah.
Let's go. I mean? So, I don't know. I mean, I should never went down from 55. Why'd I go down? I don't think those last two fights weren't that bad. I think I could have stayed there and, made another play. But, hey, that's the way it went.
But that is the prevailing wisdom, and it always has been in MMA. Get as low as you can. Do you think that ever changes?
I don't know. I think wrestling brought that into the sport.
Yeah.
You know, because wrestling's a big weight cut sport. You know, it's just going to be a part of it. If guys can make weight and do it healthy and perform, you know, by all means, they should do it.
Yeah. Let's talk about our main event tonight. Sean Strickland taking on Dricus du Plessis. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, du Plessis is a big dude. Seems like he has good grappling, but from what I hear, Strickland's grappling's kind of underrated. I just think he's going to put that pace on him. You know, he's got a dog in him. He could push pretty hard. I just see him, you know, breaking du Plessis later on.
Yeah, you know, you were talking a little bit about becoming a champion and proving it to yourself. You know, obviously you're going to get a little bit better mentally, but like Strickland seems to be conducting himself a completely different way. What was it like when you made that walk for the first time as the reigning defending champion? Was it a different experience?
I mean, yeah, it's a different experience, and you know, heavy lies the crown. You know, it's a little bit more pressure too. You know, especially in my case where you know a lot of people were doubting the first victory against BJ. So you know, I wanted to really make sure I put a stamp on it. But like I said, I just beat him, so now I believed I could do it. I knew I could do it because I just did it. So why not, you know, do it a little bit better? Strickland, I think probably he is conducting himself a little differently. I mean, he's always been a little brash and loud, but now he's really leaning into it, and I think it's part of that confidence. You know, he's like, this is who I am. This is the type of person I am. I think that could really help him, you know, for this fight because that's in-your-face style. He's kind of bringing it everywhere he goes with him.
Do you think that's a good thing that he's almost more liberated? Does that help you in a fight?
I mean, it's great for the headlines.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, you know, if he's you know, confidence is a stain that can't be wiped off, right? You know, and the more he believes in himself, yeah, it's great. I mean, it's two-edged sword, you know, until someone, you know, stops you, but ride that wave as much as you can. Yeah,
you know, looking at Sean Strickland, it's kind of crazy to think that, you know, he was knocked out against Alex Pereira not that long ago, but it's so far in the rear view with, you know, how he's done. Like, you guys think we see a hesitancy at all from Strickland, or is it just going to be kind of what he's saying, where it's, you know, to the death, if you will?
Like Frankie was saying, you do get that 20% confidence just becoming the champion. And to be the guy like Izzy, who people thought was going to be at the top for a while, and they thought he was just going to walk through Sean with ease, and then Sean goes out there, beats him. I think Dominic Cruz was saying it yesterday. I think Sean is starting to believe that he is this champion. When you're at the top, you have to believe it yourself. And I think at first he was like, I don't know if I really am the champion, but now he's starting to believe with the whole crowd, 1 million followers, all these people telling you you're the best in the world. Once you have that belief in yourself, it's like, all right, now I'm going to go out there and show you guys. You know,
that championship is so important. Sometimes, Jason, I wonder if the idea, and I don't necessarily think that Sean is of this mindset in any way, shape, or form, but the idea of not fighting to lose, you don't want to lose, like fighting not to lose, that can creep into a fighter's mindset sometimes.
It's interesting. I wouldn't suspect Sean Strickland would be a guy that would fall into that trap. There are a lot of varying opinions on where Sean Strickland is mentally, and we've talked a lot about the mental game, whether it's 90% of what it is. But I think du Plessis presents a very different challenge than Anderson Silva. My brother John has talked about Anderson Silva possibly being a good matchup for Strickland, even if it happens again. I do not expect du Plessis to be just sort of walked down and handled like that. I think the brute power could do something, but if I'm du Plessis, I got to go early. I don't want to be there in rounds 3, 4, 5.
Yeah. So, Let's get a prediction from the whole table here. We got a prediction? Anybody? Anyone want to throw it out there?
Well, we got to listen to the answer first.
I mean, he's literally named the answer. We got to get one.
Yeah. You know, I said I think Strickland's going to wear this guy down and get it done. You know, like you said about hating to lose. I think they say you hate to fight. Fighting someone that hates to lose is tough, but fighting someone that loves to compete is a different animal. And I think Strickland loves to compete. That's just his style, and I think he's going to put it on this dude.
First round, second round, later?
I'd say a little bit late, 3,
okay.
4.
All right, I like it. I like the confidence in him to still have that gas in the tank to get it done in 3 and 4.
Yeah, I mean, when we've seen du Plessis wear down a little bit in 3-round fights, we've seen him against Derek Brunson, where the most tiredest I've ever seen anybody, but he figures out a way to win. He figures out a way to get a finish, and I'm hoping he figures out a way to get a finish tonight. I think I'm going to go with du Plessis here with the finish here.
Whoa, yeah. Is that with your heart or with your head? I'm a little surprised to see Bully B go in that direction. For me, I've gone back and forth on this. Strickland, I believe, opened around -160. It's now like a pick'em fight. I believe that Dracus du Plessis is going to do what he needs to do within the first 2 rounds and knew.
First 2 rounds.
Well, I don't think. I think if it goes beyond that, I think to Frankie's point, I think Sean's going to wear him down. And I think mentally, but I like the way he protected himself against Whitaker, and I did think he had more juice in the end of the first round than Whitaker did. And knew Dracus du Plessis, South Africa.
All right, I'm going to go with Sean Strickland because. No offense, we got a legend here. And I'm gonna go
all right, doesn't want to leave me alone.
All right,
island over here.
Frankie, I appreciate you stopping by. Enjoy the rest of fight weekend.
Yeah, thank you.
There is the answer. Frankie Edgar, kind enough to join us here.
Thanks, buddy.
On Extra Rounds. Oh man, what a night it's going to be. UFC 297, our main event. Guys, yesterday we were talking a lot about the mindset, and I asked you when it came to the fight itself, would the winner be the one that sort of controls their aggression enough? I want to talk about that a little bit more, but I don't want to necessarily ask the same question. I kind of want both of you guys to outline the paths to victory for both guys, because I think that while they both have similarities, their approach, I think, needs to be vastly different from one another as well. Belal, I'll start with you. If you were like the chief corner of Sean Strickland, mock me up a game plan for him to get it done.
If I'm Sean Strickland's chief corner, I'm telling him, establish that jab right away, establish that distance. You don't want to come out too hard, and you don't want to come out too fast, because du Plessis comes out so fast and aggressive, and it's an awkward style. It's always guys like du Plessis who punches from weird angles. Those are the ones that catch you. And he does have that weird, awkward style that he's happy about. He says, "I like my awkward style. I think it's going to be a new way of doing it, like a Loyola Machida."
Right.
But for Strickland, who has that, that Philly shell, so he keeps his arm up, hands up. Those awkward punches are the ones that are going to be able to catch him. Yeah. So for him, I'm putting it on du Plessis right there, getting him on his back foot, getting him tired a little bit, because when you have guys moving off their back foot, they get way more tired. And we saw that in the Adesanya fight, where Adesanya got more tired because he was having to move backwards the whole time. And Strickland wasn't really doing much but staying in front of him and feigning. So if I'm staying him, I'm establishing my jab, establishing my feints, getting him tired. Once it starts getting to the 4th or 5th round, that's when we go for the finish.
For du Plessis, a lot has been made of Strickland's Philly shell. How do you mimic that in the gym? Like, that's not something that is easily, replicated, I would think.
I think you get yourself a good boxer, because, real boxers, traditional boxers understand the Philly shell. MMA fighters, you'll get some that get it, but a lot won't use it, because that's when you can throw kicks, that's when you can throw low kicks, high kicks, and that's what Duke Rufus always told me. This isn't boxing, you don't use that. But for, to Sean Strickland, he knows how to use it. He knows how to still check, he still knows how to use his hands. But when you have like a sophisticated striker like Pereira, who understands it and sets those traps, those are the guys that you have to be weary of and afraid of. I don't think du Plessis is a guy that really sets up traps. He sets up his traps through chaos. And if Sean is very slow, slows everything down, that chaos won't affect him.
Yeah, John Anik, didn't he host a boxing show back in the day?
That's how he got into the sport.
Radio, right?
Yeah, the Mouthpiece Boxing show. Mouthpiece Boxing in Boston. That's how he got into it.
Were you a fan of the Sweet Science?
I was, but mixed martial arts grabbed me in a much different way. So much bigger fan of MMA. I'm still trying to grasp the fact that Belal picked du Plessis. It shocks me a little bit, maybe a little bit with his heart. I guess, Sanko brought up a point on the broadcast with Adesanya, how she thought that Strickland had really learned a lot from that Pereira knockout. And I believe that to be true, and if that really is the case, and I think he's able to sort of be responsible in that defensive guard and really protect himself from that power and just drag this thing out, it's hard for me. I think it's, with Eric Nixick at his quarter, I think he's going to be very poised and disciplined. However, I think du Plessis' power is real, and they're both listed at 6'1". Du Plessis is bigger.
Yeah, he looks way bigger when they stand side by side.
Yep. So for me, I think it's that awkwardness like you talk about, I think du Plessis is ripe. I think there's a reason why maybe this is creeping closer to a pick'em fight. But also, Sean Strickland, to me, to your point, he's not afraid to lose. He's lost a lot of fights before this 3-fight winning streak. He lost a couple back-to-back. So I think this guy has a very odd and in a good way mentality come fight night.
It's interesting. I've talked to a lot of athletes that will go extended periods of their career with that O intact, and they talk about when they suffer defeat for the first time that it is a liberating experience sometimes, because everybody, we live in a world now where it's like, until you've lost, someone out there's going to be like, next Khabib right here. You know what I mean? But like at the same time, like you want to just go out there and be on your own journey and not, be looked at as possibly the next greatest of all time, from fight 4, 5, 6 in the UFC.
Yeah, well, you look at a guy like Sean Brady, for real. And my guy Belal Muhammad, I love talking about this, but took his O, and he was very, very good in his next performance after that, and obviously had a lot of things, setbacks and different things that, had to be out of fights, Jack Della Maddalena. But, I mean, I think it really can galvanize you and take some pressure off.
What's that saying? Like, you either win or you learn? I mean, I think you learn in victory as well, but I do think there's something to the idea of just being more comfortable after going through harder times.
Yeah, and you see a guy like Strickland who got knocked out by Pereira, and then he goes and trains with him.
Yeah.
So you want to learn. And, to a lot of people, he may seem like arrogant and dumb, but like that's very smart. When you how did you catch me? Show me what you did.
Right.
And he, they even showed that video of Alex showing him how to use his right hand better.
Right.
When you're learning from guys that you've been in battle with, competition with, that just shows that you're humble and you understand that I'm always learning all the time, and he got himself a real head coach now in Eric Nixick, who's one of the smartest coaches in the UFC, and I think that he's going to have him set and prepared for anything tonight.
I'm not a hot take guy. That's not really my nature, and this isn't really a hot take, but I do think that when I say this, it'll make some people sort of scratch their head, and that is that I think Sean Strickland has the mindset of a true martial artist more than a lot of people give him credit for. Yes, he's rough around the edges, but this is a guy that goes to the gym, he goes to war, and he does so with a lot of respect. It might not feel like it, but he's willing to give it as much as he's willing to take it, and there's something very martial about that.
Yeah, when you see guys like Chris Curtis or Eric Nixick talk highly of him, and then Eric Nixick was just telling us the other day that Dan Ige wants Sean Strickland in his corner. That just shows you that he is a great teammate, and these guys understand that he does have a great mind for fighting.
Yeah.
Because we've seen him in corners where he yells out stuff, and you're like, wait, that was a smart thing from Sean Strickland. What is this? He's yelling good stuff out. So it just shows that you said he does have a good mind for martial arts.
And Nixick talks ad nauseum about how good of a teammate this guy is. And it's like he's taking care of his body. He's not partying all the time. He, you talk about martial artists and that lifestyle. He certainly embodies that lifestyle.
Yeah, no, 100%. And, we're going to see Chapter 1 to his, title reign tonight. I'm very curious to see what he looks like because – at the presser, I just felt like he was almost a little too laid back. I know everybody, especially in a fight that is this even, you've talked about how it's a pick-em fight. People try to, pick out the minute details on where a fighter's at, whether or not that, they're the same as they were before. For whatever reason, I worry that maybe Strickland was having a little too much fun Wednesday of fight week.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's starting to buy into that. Everybody wants that from him, right? They're saying, what is he going to say? Everybody wants to tune into the press conference because they know it's going to be something wild from him. And I feel like sometimes that could hurt you or it could help you.
Yeah.
Maybe that just gets his mind off of thinking about the fight because you're like, I'll just play around with these guys right now, get my mind off the stress of what's going to happen Saturday night. And sometimes that helps you, but also you don't want to have to fake it either.
Right.
I don't think you'll ever be able to fake it. I don't think he was faking much.
Yeah.
But, I think that's just him now.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I guess there's a difference between faking it and delivering what is expected of you, right? Like, I'm sure you probably felt that a little bit, where you're at, this number one contender, fighting for a title soon. Like, I don't think you've changed. I don't think you've put on a show necessarily and haven't been authentic to yourself. But, like, the light goes on, Belal, and you got to say things, right?
Yeah, exactly. And, I go through the ups and downs of that where I'm like, man, should I get out of character and say something wild? Because we are in a day and age where the wild stuff is what's going to get the headlines.
Yeah.
But like you said, I don't want to sit there and not be authentic to myself because I know my true fans, my true family, they're the ones that are going to look up to me in the end. And I could be PG-13 and still be brash, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, Dricus du Plessis right now. Right, the moment that he is feeling now, 3 months from now, whatever it is, whatever your date may be, right, you're going to be in the moment that Dricus is in right now, the opportunity to change your life forever. So I guess for you, it's fight night, it's a fight. I know how confident you are, but what do you think he's feeling right now?
I mean, it's that dream that you've always been working for your whole life, right? That's when you get into the sport. For me, it was never, I want to just make it to the UFC. I always start from the start that I could be a champion. And even him, when he first got into the UFC, undefeated, and after every win, he was telling people, you're going to remember my name. Say my name like this. Say my name like that. So it told me that this guy wasn't here just to be forgotten or just be another fighter. He wanted you to remember his name. And tonight, it's that night. This is that night you've been working for your whole life. This is that goal that you had. And the whole world, you have a whole country behind you right now. So for him, I'm hoping that he keeps his nerves on edge because you don't want to get overexcited right now and, have an adrenaline dump. But I think that he has a good head on his shoulders. We saw him at the press conference. He didn't get out of character. Now that he sees Strickland in person, we didn't see him get crazy with each other. It tells me this week he's level-headed.
Yeah. One of the things that I don't think fans really think about is when a title challenger goes into a championship fight, they go to the photo shoot, and they take a photo with the belt. Because if they win, you need to be prepared. What is that going to be like for you, Belal, when you take a picture of that belt that you plan on winning a couple days later? I think that's going to probably cement everything that it's happening. It's here.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a title outside of the UFC where I was Titan FC, and it was that feeling where they made me take a picture with the belt beforehand, and I was like, this feels so good.
Right.
And I was like, man, now I'm going to be able to touch the UFC belt and know that a couple of days after that, it's going to be my belt. So it's only going to be like you said, it's the road to get here was so hard. The ups and downs, and everybody telling you you're never going to do it, you're never going to make it there. And for me, it was always proving my haters wrong, my doubters wrong, and proving my family, my friends right. And it's going to be the most satisfying feeling ever.
It's funny you talk about the belt. So correct me if I'm wrong, but Justin Gaethje, right, upon winning the interim belt, puts it on the ground. There are certain professional sports where they bring that world championship trophy in the room, like in the NBA, and no one wants to touch it until it's there. But I'm with you, man. Manifest that happening.
Yeah.
It's going to be yours anyway. Might as well see how it feels.
Yeah, before you get to grab it, you get to touch it. So we got a exciting co-main event. It is a championship doubleheader. Mayra Bueno Silva taking on Raquel Pennington. You want to talk about this being a mental game for Rocky. She's had a lot of ups and downs in her career, but I think when you fight into your mid-30s and you're still at the upper echelon and able to fight for a title, I mean, that's a moral victory in a lot of ways. And for Rocky, she believes it's going to be a lot more than a moral victory, but she's going to have to do it as an underdog tonight. Your thoughts, Belal, on really a staple of this division still being a major player in this co-main event for a title?
Yeah, when I look at Rocky, I'm looking at her. She's continually getting better. She's kind of like a Jim Miller, where later on in the career, all the ups and downs that they've gone through, it only helped them grow. We were sitting behind Amanda Nunes yesterday, and I was sitting there like, Rocky went 5 rounds with her. Rocky went to war with her, and that experience, you're never going to get that from anybody else. Mayra didn't have that. She didn't go against her. She beat Holly Holmes, but I think Holly Holmes is later in her career, and even in that first round, she wasn't looking that great until she caught her with a choke. Rocky's tough as nails. I don't think there's a tougher fighter. She's up there with even the men, women, everybody out of toughness.
Yeah.
Because even in that fight with Amanda Nunes, anybody could have given up. Anybody could throw in a towel. She never wanted to.
She voiced that she wanted to, but she still went out there.
Yeah,
you know what
she
I mean?
went out there.
That's the thing. She might have given in to the voices in her head a little bit, but the fact is she didn't quit. And you can't fake that. You know what I mean?
And we've seen it a lot of times with fighters, mostly men, where they'll fall down or they'll leave their neck up there. Choke me. Oh, man, you caught me with a choke. Guys that are wanting to give up, but
you see it on the regional level all the time.
Yeah,
you might be able to fight that guillotine a little bit longer, but you got me.
Yeah, exactly. And she never showed that. And that just shows me that she's tough as a $2 steak. She's one of the toughest ones out here.
Took the words out of my mouth, and she's a tough out. There have been a lot of fights where she has entered as an underdog, and very quickly, 30 seconds in, you're like, oh, yeah, you can be sure that she belongs. And the opportunity for her, I talked about it last night, but her debut 10 years ago against Jessica Andrade, she's been there, done it. And at 35, that's the prime.
Right.
Don't tell me she's old.
No, and that's the thing too. I'll talk to a lot of athletes that fought throughout their 20s, and they say if I just had the physical ability I had in my 20s with the mindset that I have in my 30s, I'd be a world beater. Raquel Pennington still has everything she needs to get it done, and that opportunity lies before her tonight here in Toronto.
Yeah, exactly. And the experience, right? If I go back to me 10 years ago, I'm going to kill that kid. I don't care how young he was or how athletic I was back then, but my mindset now, the way I train now, the way I look at fighting, it's differently. I look at it as a chessboard. When you're younger, you look at it as checkers. You look at it as, all right, let's just go out there, see red, see what happens. Yeah. But now I think that she's understanding it more. She understands the angles better. She understands footwork better. She understands, all right, the pace, what I need to do with my pace. And I think that's going to be the difference tonight with her and Mayra. Mayra's going to come out like a hungry dog. She's going to try to get that finish right away because that's what she is as a finisher. So if Raquel could weather that storm, I think we could see a decision for her.
Yeah. I want to bounce around a little bit. There's a lot on this card, and we didn't even get to some of the earlier fights in the night. Arnold Allen returns, and he's coming off a loss to Max Holloway, which no shame in losing to Max Holloway, and he's a pretty big underdog tonight, but for good reason. Your thoughts on this fight?
My thoughts have changed since last night, if
Really?
you want to know the truth. And the 10, and not that I necessarily made a pick on the fight, but the 10-fight winning streak with Arnold Allen, there are certain guys that I see sort of peaking and certain guys sort of going in the other direction. It's very difficult for me to envision waking up tomorrow morning having Movsar Evloev having lost in this spot as he rises. The idea that Arnold Allen's going to be able to keep this on the feet, pick him apart, do damage, it's very difficult for me to envision that happening. Do you give Arnold Allen a good shot in this one?
No, like you said, when I'm looking back at Arnold's winning streak when he was on that, had all that hype, there wasn't really a wrestler that he fought against. A guy that's going to come in there, shoot, keep a good pace on him. And Movsar got great boxing as well. He's getting better with his striking, more comfortable with his striking. And seeing him on Twitter and social media now, he's getting more comfortable in his own skin, right? He wants to be out there more with the fans, and he knows that if he puts on a great show, big show tonight on a pay-per-view, he can be next up there for the title shot in a division that, you're tired of recycling the same guys fighting for the belt.
Dude, and Diego Lopez, who I love that dude, can't get enough of him. But a lot of people forget, Movsar Evloev in that fight, he came in on short notice, and he beat Diego Lopez, right? So Diego Lopez, we're giving him a lot of credit for how he competed in defeat, but Evloev beat a tough guy on short notice that night.
Yeah, and those are the most dangerous guys to fight, guys that are that tough, and they have nothing to lose. And Diego Lopez had nothing to lose that night, and Movsar did his training camp during Ramadan. You hit a whole new, different opponent, a big change for you, and a guy that's just wild. Those are, like I said, those are the scariest guys to fight, are the wild guys. The technical guys that are going to come in with 1, 2, 3, low kick, jab, cross hook, regular takedowns. Those are the guys that are, all right, I could train for those guys. Guys are going to come with straight chaos. Those are like, all right, I need a full 8-week camp for this.
Yeah, you think this is a potential fight of the night card?
Yeah, I think it would be. I think there's going to be some scrambling in there. And, honestly, I'm going to call it. I think that Movsar could get a submission here. I think that he's going to keep wearing on him. And Arnold, who's coming off of a loss, he may want to step on the gas a little bit early. Fighting right now after a Holloway loss, you want to get your name back out there in the title picture. So I think he may be a little bit overzealous because he's a guy that fights once a year, maybe.
Yeah.
So I think for him now to fight back-to-back like that, he's going to get that taste out of his mouth.
Arnold Allen having won 10 straight, you're on a 10-fight unbeaten streak and getting the title shot. He alluded to some comments about, not necessarily having the bank account as fluffy as maybe he would like. So for a guy like that right now, even though he did lose last time, and my brother John always talks about a 2-year setback if you lose, but Arnold Allen, if he can find a way to win this, right back in the title picture.
Yeah, exactly, because you didn't lose to a bum. You lost against Max Holloway, who many think is the best featherweight to ever do it, and you had a good 5th round.
Yeah,
I think it was one of those things where he had to just get over that hump of, I got Max Holloway in front of me. Same way Frankie Edgar was talking about, I'm fighting BJ Penn. Do I believe I could beat BJ Penn? I don't think he believed he could beat Holloway until the 5th round. When he rewatches it, he's probably like, dang, I could have did this earlier. Why didn't I do it earlier?
Yeah, no, 100%. And, that's the thing. It's such a mental game. Like, we talk about it all the time, but, you can – I think this is honestly the only sport you can truly be beaten in the locker room before you even make the walk.
Literally, when I fought guys like Damian Maia or Wonderboy Thompson, I didn't believe it until I was like, dang, I'm in there with freaking Damian Maia. This guy was in there with Anderson Silva. And I was like, after I beat him, I was like, all right, I belong here.
Right.
Wonderboy. I was like, this guy fought for the belt twice. I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I could beat this guy. Then beating him, it was like, damn, all right, we are that good. We do belong with the best of the best with these guys. But I did have to get over that mental hurdle every day, looking at his highlights, looking at this. And, that's one of the toughest things to do.
Yeah.
So for Drakus, right, and for you, I've known you for a long time, gotten to watch you. I believe that your mentality before all of your fights is very consistent in the locker room. My guess would be you're poised, your mentality is the same. For Drakus, is it difficult? Do you think it's going to be difficult for him to sort of stay in his normal routine mentally?
That's the biggest thing, right? You want to just look at it like it's a regular fight. You don't want to look at it like, man, extra pressure or extra things you want to do differently. I'm a big routine guy where it's like every fight I want to do the exact same thing no matter what. Every fight I want to think the exact same way. I don't want to think this fight's bigger than the next, this fight's bigger than the next, because your next fight is always your title fight, no matter what. Whatever it is, it's your biggest fight.
Yep.
Like I don't want to put extra pressure on myself because it's the belt. I want to just say, this is my opponent. That's what I got to beat in front of me. I'm not looking at the gold or what comes after it. It's like, I got to beat this person standing in front of me.
Yeah, we're looking at highlights right now of the Robert Whittaker fight, and don't get me wrong, obviously Duplessis is fighting for a championship, but you can't tell me that the nerves and sort of, big sort of fight feel that Whittaker had isn't the same as the Strickland fight.
Yeah, great point. I agree with you, and I thought the same thing too. As I was thinking about you, and if you're Duplessis, right? All right, I beat Bob Whittaker. I got Sean Strickland now, right? I mean, like, who do you think's a better mixed martial? Who's the Hall of Famer, right? And Strickland, right? Don't get me wrong. I'm very impressed with a lot of what he's done. But if he doesn't defend this, right? You know, a lot of guys get a championship. Defending the belt is different. You win it once and then you don't defend. I mean, right? Conor McGregor but beat Eddie Alvarez one time, 155, double champ, never defended.
I think both guys had that pressure because both guys, their last fight, nobody thought they would win that fight. Nobody thought he would beat Izzy. Nobody thought he would beat Robert Whittaker.
Yeah.
But he finished Robert Whittaker. And I think Robert Whittaker had that aura about him, like he would be champion. That second fight with him and Izzy was so close, he could have won that fight. So, like, everybody always put him on that pedestal. So for Dricus, it's like, hey, I just beat the champion, so I'm a champion as well. Same way as Strickland is. So had that mentality where it's like Strickland's not on a higher pedestal than me. We're both same level right now.
Yeah, you know, I like everybody in the sport. You're around it long enough, you can find things to appreciate about every athlete that goes out there for, you know, our benefit and risk, you know, their life now and in the future for our entertainment. I honestly hope both guys look good because I don't like the idea that maybe one comes up short and then people are just going to say, see, that last fight was a complete, you know, miracle. And it's like, both these guys are really good. They both deserve respect, you know, win, lose, or draw tonight. And that's the other thing, too. Like, win, lose, or draw, both these guys are going to be a problem for anybody at 185 for a long time. And Duplessis already talking about taking on Alex Pereira, you know, up, you know, at light heavyweight. Like,
yeah. Well, he did say he'd take care of a lot of those in the division first, but that's the thing, right? Dricus has big aspirations beyond just winning the belt one time. And that fight against Whittaker, man, I felt like Dricus almost gassed Whittaker with some of his power, you know, and I don't. Strickland can have some power, obviously catching him in the right spot, but I think Dracus's power, I think Strickland has to be real careful with those big hands coming back.
Talking about Dracus, I forgot that he had that breathing issue taken care of. I'm curious to see what happens if we get later in the fight and see if, you know, his cardio issues are really no longer a question and a factor, you know?
Yeah, I really want to see it because at first I was calling him, I was like, yeah, that's bullcrap. You're lying, right? Because he has that style of just, like, coming at you full force no matter what. I'm like, you're getting tired just because of your style. But then even in the Whittaker fight, he did look good after the first round, right?
Yeah.
He didn't look like he was breathing a lot harder. And you're like, well, maybe it was his nose. Maybe it is that. But, like, we'll get that tonight. I think that Strickland's going to be a hard guy to finish. So we'll get to that fourth, fifth round. We really will see if, you know, those cardio issues were because of that nose or just because he just steps on the gas full force 100% from the start to the end.
Yeah, so I got your pick earlier. You're saying and new. We're looking at this fight line, and it is a pick'em fight. If you were, like, creating a line now, where would it be? Where would you open this line at?
It's a great question. I still believe Strickland deserves to be the favorite, and probably more so than a pick'em, even though I'm picking Duplessis. So I would probably put Strickland more really where it opened at minus 160, whatever, you know, Duplessis coming back about plus 130. But I want to ask you, for real, like, are you picking Duplessis with your heart? Because I'm very surprised. I thought you expected Strickland to win this fight tonight.
No, just I'm picking it with my heart and head.
Head too,
on the treadmill tonight, I was running. I mean, in the morning today, I was running. I was like just rewatch fights, and I'm just watching those highlights of it. And like you said, rewatching the Whittaker fight with Duplessis. Like when he hit him, like Whittaker, who's been in there with some of the best in the world, like it made him change a little bit, right? He had a different look on his face. And Duplessis says, I do have those hammers in my hand. When these guys feel it, they understand what it is. It's not the same as these other guys. And I think he does have that weird power. And for Strickland, even myself, seeing him yesterday at the weigh-ins where he didn't step on the scale, to me, that was a little bit telling, right? Like telling me that there's a little bit nerves where he was trying to, like, what should I do right now that's going to get the crowd riled up? Where he's thinking about something else instead of thinking about the task at hand. It was thinking about the entertainment factor of, all right, let's get it hyped up instead of the, yo, all right, tomorrow night I'm locked in. Let's do this. He just seemed a little bit weird to me at the weigh-in yesterday, so it tells me that he's overthinking the process.
Yeah. This is Extra Rounds. We are live at Boston Pizza here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Let's go.
DeSantis, Jason Anik, Belal Muhammad. We appreciate you joining us. We are presented by DraftKings. DraftKings Sportsbook is the official sports betting partner of the UFC. New customers can bet just $5 and win $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the app, use code FightPass, and get in on the action today. I want to talk about the odds a little bit. Credit to your brother John, because he made the odds really a narrative when he came in as the play-by-play commentator for the UFC, and he gets crap, for being a sort of, gambling junkie. Not necessarily betting on the fights by any means, but he follows that narrative in a lot of ways. And I think it's, for good reason as we look at this, because the numbers tell a story, Jason. Like, you don't have to be a betting man to glean a lot of information for what we're looking at.
No question about it. You can be sure Belal Muhammad never placed a sports bet in his life, but they mean something to him. And when John started to sort of bring the sports gambling angle in, frankly, we've been betting on sports every day since we were 18 years old, but not in a degenerate manner. But he started talking about these lines, but certainly now with the explosion of sports betting across the world, now it's become mainstream. But ultimately, it really does sort of paint a picture. But MMA, that's one of those sports I won't go near betting because whether it's a broken leg or just anything can happen on a given night. There are a lot of favorites on the card tonight, whether they're minus 180 to minus 215. And being honest, I love all of them. I like Charles Jourdain minus 200. There are a lot of opportunities here, but you can be sure they're not all coming in, all those favorites. No way.
Well, I mean, that's the curious factor. Like, when you look at the odds, Belal, and maybe look at a line on yourself, do you ever get, offended when the line opens up and it's not in your favor? Do you take that personally?
No, I get excited because I'm just that just proves to me, it keeps that chip on my shoulder where these guys are still doubting me. Now the bettors are doubting me. So now the Vegas is doubting me. I'm like, all right, all these people think I'm going to lose. Watch me go out there and prove them wrong. Watch me go out there and show the world what I'm going to do. And if you bet against me, that's on you.
Yeah, and I don't think he gets offended. Showtime Pettis made a lot of money off my boy. Anthony Pettis not offended at all by those lines. But interesting, that Leon Edwards-Belal Muhammad line, I don't know. I'm sure it's out there somewhere, but we don't care. Nobody cares.
Yeah, I always get excited because Anthony Pettis will call my nutritionist Ian Larios fight week, or it'll be the day before the fight. He'd get 10 missed calls from him. What do you want, Anthony? And then he'll go talk to him in the corner. I'd be like, what did Anthony want? He's like, oh no, he was asking me about a recipe. And then after the fight, he's like, no, he was asking me, yo, how's Bully looking?
Right. Yeah, the recipe is path to victory, right? It's he wants to know what prop to put money on. But what a fighter's mindset too, right? Doubt me, bet against me. There's the whole meme going around with Dana going, bet against me, And I think that is the mindset of a fighter. It's probably liberating to have the world doubt you and go, I'm just going to prove everybody wrong.
Yeah, I'd rather have that mindset than be a plus 1,000 favorite where I'm supposed to walk through this guy with ease because, like you said, it's fighting.
Yeah.
All it takes is one punch, one zig when you should have zagged, and you could be knocked out easily. You could be looking upward, and it's
Again, Kevin Randleman knocked himself out in the back on a pike that was laying on the ground. You know what I mean? This is the craziest sport in the world, so... expect the unexpected.
But I don't mean to cut you off, but when you talk about these lines, right? Sean Strickland, whether it was plus 430 against Anderson Silva, right? So there are these opportunities out there, but you're not getting the underdog Duplessis at anything but really a plus 105 or pick 'em at this point.
Yeah, and I say this all the time when I call exciting fights. I don't know who's going to win, but I do know that the winner tonight is going to be us and everyone else watching.
Yes.
We're going to get a main event that is going to deliver. I mean, never say never. I do remember Izzy Adesanya and Yoel Romero, and I don't think we're going to get that tonight, but we will find out. So these guys do a show called Remember the Show. It's MMA's only game show. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
I can't think of another one, right?
It's the best game show on TV. It's better than anything on TV right now.
Tell the people how to watch and get it.
I got you. So typically we go live Thursdays, 3:30 Eastern time on the Anakin Florian Podcast YouTube channel. Typically we have game show. We got a couple of fighters, a couple of MMA personalities going head-to-head against each other. Belal and I chop it up a little bit. Yeah, but we got the number one welterweight contender in the world, so you can be sure we talk about his career a little bit, where he's at. But yeah, it's fun. It's very different than these normal podcasts. We're not just breaking down fights.
I mean, how easy is that when you got the number one contender on every show? You don't even have to book it.
Well, and we started the show September 2020. Boy was unranked, right? All he's done is win since. So now, here we go. Now I'll give you a champ.
Remember the show, remember the name, and I think we're going to play the game.
Let's do it.
So I should have had the button ready, but I gotta press the damn button. Let's go.
Yo, it's Remember the Show. Slick with the flows, where the sparring can go. Who's gonna be on, man, you never will know. Guess you better tune in, cause we live from Chicago. Belal Muhammad, that's the king of the tweets. Jason Anik looks like John, step his hands to his feet. Every Thursday, we gon' give you a treat. It's Remember the Show, hit play and repeat. And retweet, and retweet, and retweet. And retweet, it's Remember the Show, hit play and repeat.
Oh, you get me all fired up. All fired up. Episode 124, Remember the Show. Belal, remember the name Muhammad. So we're going to bring some people up here to play this game or what?
Steve's going to help us out here.
There we go.
What's up, boys?
Oh, man.
Oh, we got a headset and chair. We're ready to go here today.
By the way, I can't believe that's Cody Merrow rapping those bars.
Pretty good, yeah.
bars,
Shout out, producer. Remember the show.
Yeah.
Cody, Bone.
When this blows up and we get that $130 million offer from Spotify, it's gonna be like, Cody's going to be like, dang, he's a rapper.
All right.
What's up, brother? How you doing? Put this on. What's up, man? How you doing? What's your name?
Nigel.
Nigel, how you doing?
Pleasure to meet you all.
too,
All right,
man.
all three of you. I'm excited to be on the show today. I've watched for a long time. So
Have you? Okay,
yeah.
perfect. We
Appreciate you, man.
got to have a listen. We're going to see how good you really
All
are.
right, I hope I do well. So
All right. So you want to explain this for the people that maybe haven't seen?
Yeah, go ahead.
So he's seen it. For the people who haven't seen it, we usually have a run of categories. We'll have two fighters going against each other, and if you know the answer, you just shout bully. It's a lot like Jeopardy. We had different categories. You pick what category you want, and you get the answer right, you get a ding. You get it wrong, you get a buzzer.
So you're lucky here today. You don't have an opponent to go against, right? But that seat will not stay warm for you if you don't answer correctly.
all right, I'm on the hot seat. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. So let me go over here. We're going to throw up a thing like this. And here we go.
Face smash. So two fighter faces. Tell me what two fighters are.
that's Drakus and Sean.
Yeah, he's watched the show before.
Oh, this boy is good. Okay.
All right.
All right, second one.
Bueno Silva and Pennington.
Bro, this guy is okay.
All right.
All right, hold up.
You guys give me the easy one so far.
Hold on, face mashes.
I mean,
This. We have to give him a different one now. Hold on, no face mask this time.
All right,
I'm gonna give him a
Yeah,
question.
and this guy's watched the show before.
Yeah.
Too.
So I'm gonna give you a fighter nickname.
Okay.
You got to tell me this fighter's nickname.
All right.
I'm gonna ask you.
by the way, I'm terrible at the visual stuff. So
Hey, the visual
kudos
stuff
to
is
you.
actually what I do better at. It's the scrambling the names that I'm like I might mess up on.
Oh, is it? All right. Mike Malat.
Proper.
What? This
Yes.
guy's a
Oh, it's a
genius.
great nickname. It's a great nickname.
Okay. All right, now I'm gonna give you a little hard one.
All right.
If you get this one, you're a beast. Arnold Allen.
Almighty.
All right, that's
Good.
all right. This guy's
What's he
way
with?
too
What's he
Ooh,
with?
This guy's way
I'm
too
sweaty.
good.
We got that right there. Is that,
All right.
is that for him?
Yeah, you get a card, you get a sweater.
Oh, awesome.
Thank you, brother. You're gonna take
Pleasure.
all of our questions away, man. You're way too good.
Wait, one more before you're out of here.
Sure.
All right? Because I know you're a young man, so this might be a little. Oh, no, this is a good one for you. How many seconds did it take for Conor McGregor to defeat Jose Aldo?
Oh, come on. It's so easy.
I don't
Sorry.
actually. I don't remember the
We
exact
got
amount.
him.
Can I give you a hint?
Sure.
It's a baker's dozen.
12?
Oh, Baker's dozen.
Baker's
dozen.
Come on, bro. All right, no card, no.
That's the one that you guys stumped me on.
You just don't know what a baker's dozen is.
No, I don't.
13.
Oh.
It's a dozen, one for the baker.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Two for the
You
baker.
learn something
if
new
I'm
every
the
day,
baker.
right? So
All right.
Thank you,
I
brother.
appreciate it,
Appreciate
Joe.
you, man. Thank you,
Good to
man.
meet you, bro.
it was a pleasure.
Nice meeting you.
All right, let's get
Pleasure.
another contestant up here.
Dude, how about Nigel talking about one of the other categories on the show, Name Scramble?
Dude,
you
he's
can be
good.
sure
Thank you, brother.
he's a fan.
Have a good one, man. Do we got another one coming over here?
Oh, there we go.
Come around, bro.
Don't be afraid. Yeah, we can throw up some of those other face smashes if we
That
want.
guy was
You know,
good. I was
typically,
like, he's gonna burn out all our face
I'm
masks.
telling you, but if he had an
opponent.
opponent going against him, then
Right.
then he'd have some.
What's
heat.
up, man? How you
And
doing?
I'm not going to challenge him because
Put on that headset, brother.
Put this on, man.
All right. Let's go back over here. We'll stay with him, actually.
What's your name, bro? Ayan?
Yeah.
Have
Nice to
you
meet
ever
you
watched
guys.
the
You
show
too,
before?
man.
Yeah, I have watched since a year ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Let's
fan.
go. Thank you,
Yeah.
bro. Let's see what you got. Are you good at it?
I hope so.
Are you
I
one of
hope
those
so.
guys? Man, I would win the show easily if I was on it.
I've been keeping up, but I hope I don't, fail on the spot.
Come on, bro. Don't
Let's
choke
see.
right now.
Let's
We
see.
have you right
Let's
now.
see.
We'll do a face match. Two fighter faces.
All right. That's Mozart and Arnold.
Bro, okay. Dude, that doesn't look like a real person.
You know, we want it to be current with what's happening.
Right. It doesn't get more
You know what I
current
mean?
than.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Now,
All right.
now I'm going to give you a fighter nickname.
All right.
See how good you really are. I'll give you Jillian Robertson. Fighting today.
Jillian Robertson.
That's tough.
I think she's one of the most popular girls fighting.
Yeah,
Oh, for sure.
Was it the Savage?
Oh,
Nice.
bro.
Let's go.
Hey, this
All right,
guy
yeah,
is
good.
good. You just got yourself a card.
All right, sweet.
Keep it and I'll sign it afterward.
Yeah, sure.
All right. This is going to be tough.
Okay.
Who was the first fighter to beat George St. Pierre?
Damn.
I love asking the youngins
Yeah,
some tough questions.
That's past my era. The first man, 2 losses. Was it?
Came via submission.
You were very close with that
Sorry,
one.
it was.
You're very close with.
Sorry, Matt Serra was one, and was BJ Penn the other? But I'm not sure which one's first.
You were correct that Matt Serra was one, but the first
not
fighter
BJ
to beat
Penn?
George St. Pierre, you were incorrect. That was Matt Hughes by submission.
Come on,
2004.
bro.
Almost.
Far side armbar.
But that's tough, man. I threw
That
you a
was a
tough
tough
one.
one.
That was a good one.
Yeah,
You were
that
close.
was before my era.
I hear
Yeah.
you. What
Thank you,
year
brother.
were you born?
I'm 2005.
Yeah, so that's messed
yeah.
up. I gave you a question from before you were born. That's
He was
kind of messed
close,
up.
though. He
Yeah.
was close.
No, he was.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on, bro.
Appreciate
Thank you for
you,
watching,
man.
man.
It was nice to
you,
meet
man.
all you guys.
You too,
Thank
man.
you.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah.
He's as old as the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
How you going, brother? Thank you, guys. Who wants to be next? Come on over. All right, man. These guys have been good with the face mashes so far.
Yeah, I'm terrible at it.
yeah.
I see like kids I went to high school with. I don't see fighters even.
It's the next generation. It's the millennials. They understand the software of everything. There you go, brother. How you doing, man? You can put this on. Thank you, bro. What's your name?
My name's Abrar.
Abrar?
Abrar, yeah.
How you doing, brother? You ever watched the show before?
Oh, yeah, I did. That's my brother, actually, the one that was before.
Oh, okay. So
Beautiful.
So nice. I like it. The family sits down and watches it
Exactly.
together. See,
Yeah.
everybody needs to learn from these guys.
Is that your little brother?
It's my little brother.
All right. So what year were you born?
I'm 98.
All right.
So
So we got a little more juice.
got a little more.
All right.
All right, we're on the 4th one now, I think.
Yeah. 2 fighter faces.
Oh, that's Neil for sure. I just don't know the face. The face.
Definitely Neil.
That's Neil for
Definitely
sure.
Neil.
You got it. Don't choke.
Oh, this is hard. The face is what gets you, you know?
Come on, bro.
The body's the easy one.
3,
2.
2, 1.
Bump,
Guess.
bump,
Neil
ba-dum.
Monster.
Come on, bro.
It's the
It's-
face
it's
that
Mike
stumps you.
Malott, bro.
Ah, it's
Come
Mike
on.
Malott.
Proper Mike Malott.
Proper
Michael
Mike Malott. All right, we'll give you a different one. Your brother already beat you on that. I wonder if
he
your brother would
would've,
have
he
got
would've.
it.
Yeah, he would have probably.
All right, nickname.
Nickname.
Easy one.
Easy one.
Charles Jourdain.
Charles Air Jordan. Come
There
on.
we go.
That's
Okay.
an easy
All right.
one.
All right. You're Canadian?
I'm Canadian, exactly.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
All right.
Now you get a trivia question.
Okay, let's see.
How old was John Jones when he first became UFC champion?
See, I just started watching UFC recently, like 5-6 years ago.
That's all right.
So,
That's all right.
I'm gonna make a young. He was probably really young. Probably like 22.
Good guess. 23.
That was
That was a great guess.
That was a good guess.
Yeah,
that was a good guess.
Because I was thinking, probably was really young back then. So
Yeah, appreciate you, brother. Thank you for
yeah.
watching, man.
Thank you so much,
Keep watching.
man.
Thank you, man.
Big fan.
I
big
was
fan.
younger
Good
back
to
then
meet
too. Nice meeting you.
Tell your brother you got all of them right. Don't even like.
Who's older? You or John?
Hey, brother.
Who do you think?
Yeah.
One of you.
Yeah, one of us. Yeah, John's 3 minutes older. He always tells
So you're
people.
the upgrade.
Yeah, exactly. Ah, see, you gave me something to say. He always says I wasn't going to lose the first race of my life, and now I'm going to say I was the upgrade.
You were
That's
the, I mean,
beautiful.
and the counter to that is he was the OG, but you were the upgrade.
Seeing them now, both of them going back and forth with each other on social media is the funniest thing. I told them, you guys need a reality show. Just have Big Rob recording you guys.
Yeah, there you go.
24/7. Get a
Telling
fist
you.
fight going.
Let's see these other side of my buttoned-up twin brother that they see on the broadcast. Whole different cat behind the scenes.
Trust me, I know.
I know you
I've
do.
been out to dinner with him and stuff. Yeah.
Hearing him on the podcast at first, first time I ever heard him curse, I was like, wait, John curses? No way.
Oh, so people might not know. I did the first 2 years of the Andy Florian podcast, producing it. And,
The OG.
And when John would sign off, he goes, "Yo, effing later." And the first time he did it, I was like, we can't run that. We need to stop that right now.
Right.
But I like it. That's the thing about podcasting. There's a lot of good things about it, and a lot of things that maybe break away from traditional media. But that's where we're at now, and it's cool to see a different side of someone who has to be so buttoned up all this.
Yeah, and that's what we were with Remember the Show, just different. And I don't know how many podcasts I can ingest where just people just sitting around talking, sort of
same
with a
thing
normal
over and over,
breakdown.
yeah.
But I do want to ask you, since we just had that face smash up there. So Neil Magny's a guy that many years ago maybe was a guy that you could have faced, but certainly in very different spots in the rankings. it is hard for me to envision him finding a way versus Mike Malott. I think a lot of UFC fans are going to get introduced to Mike Malott I feel like this guy doesn't get as much. I know he gets the love in Canada, but I don't think Mike Malott. I think he is going to arrive tonight, I believe. How do you see Neil Magny? I mean, he certainly didn't do much against Ian Gary.
Yeah, this is one of those fights, right? It could be a trap fight for Mike Malott because I feel like Neil Magny's out there to get submitted. We've seen him. One of his weakest points is getting submitted by guys that have great jiu-jitsu. Mike Malott, who was a coach at Alpha Male for the longest, being a jiu-jitsu coach, and one of the best jiu-jitsu guys in the division. He's hungry for finishes, right? He's hungry for submissions. Fighting in Toronto is going to be huge for him. But I just look back at his career, and I look back at it, and I look at it, and he's been knocked out by me and Hakeem Dawodu, right? And it's like, me and Hakeem is like smaller, and he doesn't have the most power, and it was early on in his career, but it just tells me a guy like Magny, if he weathers that early storm, he's been in the trenches, been in there with the toughest guys, and Magny's one of those guys who figures out a way all the time. And guys where you think he's going to lose to, like Phil Rowe, he figures out a way to beat you, make fights uglier. Mike Malott just can't fall into that trap tonight.
Yeah, no, 100%. All right, I think we got
Hey, how you doing, brother?
another guest here joining us. We should mention we are live at Boston Pizza's Extra Rounds. TJ DeSantis, Jason Anik, Belal Muhammad.
You got a twin?
That's my twin brother, Victor.
Twin brother Victor.
I'm better looking, but hey, we don't want to start a fight right now.
So you guys are identical twins, right?
Identical twins, yeah.
Real twins. I see it.
Yeah.
So you say you're
Pleasure
better
to meet
looking.
you.
Nice to meet you too.
Pleasure to meet you.
You're better
meet you.
looking. We don't talk. You look the same. You got the same DNA. What do you mean you're better looking?
Yeah.
Not any better looking than that guy over there. Get out of here.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I see you smarter.
Okay.
All right. Just messing with
You got
you.
any more face smashes?
Let's do it. We got one
All right,
more.
So I'm going to show you a picture. You got to tell me which two fighters is this face right here, okay? Two fighters matched together.
Okay.
Two fighters matched together. You can look up there. That's
Big
hard.
screen for you.
Okay.
That's amazing.
Tom Opsenal and Brock Lesnar.
What? Okay. There we go.
I got it?
Yeah, you got it. Let's
Good
go. This is a
Victor,
funny.
I love it.
You on your phone.
All right. Now I want to ask you a nickname game.
Okay.
You're a real fan. You know everybody on
I
this card
try to be as much as a fan.
Let's
I can.
give the twin brother a second to get his phone ready so we can record his brother next to the future
Thank you so
welterweight
much.
champion.
I
Come
can't
on.
wait. I can't wait. Is Leon still ducking you, or are you getting your title shot?
We're getting it. We're getting it, bro.
Oh my
Appreciate
God, I
you,
can't
man.
wait. I can't wait. Me and Victor have been longtime fans of you.
Oh, appreciate
Longtime
you, brother.
fans,
Thank you,
know?
brother.
Remember the name.
Well, I hope you remember this nickname, though. Sean Woodson. Fighting tonight against Air Jordan. Tell me what Sean Woodson's nickname is.
Sean Woodson. Honestly, it doesn't ring a bell to me. I'm sorry.
Come on, bro. You know which fighter I'm talking about?
Can you phone a friend, twin brother, know the nickname?
Victor, you know the nickname for that?
Sean Woodson.
Sean Woodson,
Sean
fighting
Woodson?
tonight. You know his nickname? Sean Woodson's nickname?
His nickname? No, Sean. Sorry, Woodson.
Sean
Not
Woodson.
Sean Strickland. Do you know Sean Strickland's nickname, though? See?
Do you
There
know
for
Sean
you. Do you know
Strickland's
Sean
nickname?
Strickland's nickname?
No.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, it's not the best nickname.
It's not.
You know?
Yeah, it's not weird. It's
What's his
kind of a
name?
lame nickname. Tarzan.
Oh, Tarzan. Yeah. Yeah, I remember.
All right. Well, at least you got the face mash, right?
Okay.
We'll ask you a trivia question now. Let's see if you got anything. You have
Yeah, I
anyone
got you.
for
I
him?
got you.
How long you been watching fighting for?
For the last four years, roughly 4 or 5 years.
4 years.
I
Your
watched a
brother,
bit of GSP. It got a lot more like when Connor and Khabib started fighting. Then I was watching you, Masvidal. A lot. The welterweight division is my favorite division.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. I just I'm in and out depending on which fighters are fighting.
You know,
But I love your fights, and when you're a very entertaining fighter.
Thank you,
I'm telling
brother.
Right now,
Appreciate
and you
it.
always put the pressure on. I love how you're just constantly moving forward. And
Bro, I got to take this guy with me
this
everywhere,
guy
man.
will fight anyone, and that's what I love. And everyone's just ducking him. Like everyone's hiding from him. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
when he gets his belt, I just can't wait. He'll be the most active champion. It's going to be
100%.
He's
I
gonna
love
make,
this
he's
guy.
gonna make the UFC even greater than it already is. You know?
Active champion.
Maybe you change your nickname. You don't have to say remember anymore. It'll just be the
Oh,
name.
trust me, everyone's
Muhammad.
going to remember him. Everyone's
Yeah.
going to remember him.
I love this guy, man.
No, we love you. We're a big fan.
Thank
Thank
you,
you
man.
so much.
Appreciate you,
everybody.
brother.
So a lot of these UFC fans have come into the game recently, even if they're older guys or older girls, right?
Yep.
So a lot, whether it was in the pandemic or whatever. So, but I see that a lot of these fans like go back and watch, like they're such junkies that they go
Yeah.
back and take in what they haven't seen. So anyway, this certainly maybe before you were a fan. What was the very first fight? The very first women's fight in UFC history?
Women's fight that I've seen, probably the Holly Holm versus Ronda Rousey.
No, women's fight in history,
Oh,
though, in
the
UFC.
first-
Oh, I'm not too sure.
Period.
I'm not too sure what the first one.
Come on, bro.
I'm sorry.
You had one of the persons, right?
Yeah.
Ronda Rousey?
It
Ronda
always
Rousey.
surprises me that Ronda Rousey was in the first UFC fight.
Yeah,
You know,
you think about that, right?
Ronda Rousey over Liz Carmouche,
Yeah, I didn't see that fight.
UFC
unfortunately.
157.
Well, you got the first one right. You know, I like you more than anybody else.
Thank you so much. We like you so much.
Here goes a card for you and your brother.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, man.
Thank you so much. Is it possible to get a picture with you after?
Of course, man.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you, man.
Anaheim, California, that fight.
Yeah.
That's the stuff I remember.
Good
I don't
to meet
know
you,
why.
man.
Nice meeting you.
I love these guys. We picked the right twin to come
You
on.
see,
man.
that's the
I
thing.
thought one of the best.
Every
right?
city we do this together, people love you. Seriously.
Yeah, right. And I'm like, I got to get out more often, right? I need a camera person with me more often so people will see it.
Although the guy that comes up to you and is bold as F and says, I don't like you, I'm going to be a little afraid of that guy because he's a little crazy. But
We're waiting for that. We just had dinner the other day, and somebody just walked up to us and was like, I'm buying you dinner right now. And we were like, all right, give us some more steaks.
Right.
But it was like the nicest thing ever. Like, these Canadians are nice. It was our first day here.
All right, so we got the twin brother.
Hey,
What's
what's
his
up, bro?
what's his other twin brother?
My brother.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
How you doing?
nice to meet
So
you.
it looks like the twin brother has a little different facial hair structure. We go pretty alike, man. These guys really like do the same. You guys are dressed identically today?
Yeah,
In
yeah.
the same suit, identical suit?
Oh, yeah.
Same cut?
Yeah.
Same cut, the slim fit, same thing. Unbelievable.
Could you guys share the same
love
suits
it.
and stuff?
No, he's a bit chubbier.
He said chubby, not swollen.
You know, my mom did dress us alike for a few years when we were young men, but not at this stage, 45 years old. Anyway, what do we got for this twin brother?
All right, are you better with nicknames? Because your brother was off.
A little bit. We'll see.
I'll give you an easy one.
Yeah.
Dracus Duplessis.
I think this one's hard.
It's a main event. I'm just doing it for main event. Get the main event out there more.
This nickname, I couldn't tell you. Dracus Duplessis' nickname. It's not DDP, if you're wondering.
All right, I'll give you an easy one. I'll give you an easy one. Raquel Pennington. Co-main event. Pennington
That's
night.
easy.
Ba-da-ba.
Raquel.
What is Duplessis' nickname, by the way?
Still Knox.
Still Knox?
Like, I
What
don't
does
know.
that mean?
The main event.
Is that an
terrible.
HBO show about football?
You know, I'm changing my pick. I'm going with Sean Strickland.
I learned the nickname. Yeah, but Tarzan, come on.
No, I don't know.
Raquel Pennington.
There's some nicknames like John Bones Jones. It just goes with it, right?
Yeah.
Like Rowdy Ronda Rousey, you know?
Rocky Raquel.
Tarzan, though,
Rocky
like
Raquel's
doesn't work
a good
with
one.
Strickland.
Right, right.
Rocky does with
It was Rocky.
Raquel.
Come on, bro. Your brother got one right. You got help him out, man. Did you know it? Raquel Pennington's nickname?
All right,
on,
all right. I got one more question for you. See if you can stay up here.
Okay.
Who did Brock Lesnar get his first UFC win against?
I think it was in Minneapolis.
I'll give you a hint. It was heavyweight.
You don't mind that?
87?
That's home.
Was it 87, UFC 87?
Oh, I have
Oh,
no
if you
idea.
get that, you're a beast.
I thought you were looking at the fight.
Would that have been in 2008? UFC
yeah.
87?
August?
It wasn't Randy Couture, eh?
It was not. It was Heath Herring. But
Heath Herring.
Yeah.
Good
That was
guess.
definitely Minneapolis.
Well, you get a card just for saying
Guess
hey
what?
at the
That
end.
same
that
card,
was very Canadian.
John Jones made his debut that night.
Really?
UFC 87, yeah.
Good stuff.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank you so
man.
much, guys. Huge fans.
Good to meet you, man.
Thank you.
Nice
You guys
meeting
need to brush up on your guys' trivia. Go
Yeah,
back,
yeah.
rewatch fights. We'll bring you out again. Thank you, guys.
Can't wait to see you champion.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man.
For you for a long, long time. Everyone's dodging you. We just can't wait to see you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate both of you guys.
100%.
Thank you, brothers.
I tell you what, man, what his twin brother was saying about you being the most active UFC champion, there's so much truth to that. And I guess it's probably obvious to the fan base, but like this guy's probably going to defend it in 2024 as well
Easy.
as compete
100%.
for it for the first time.
Easily, yeah.
Does John Anik have a nickname? One
he
that's
does.
radio
Does he?
acceptable?
Well, I gave it to him. He's going to kill me, but I gave. No, it's not really a nickname. Many years ago, I gave him the nickname Choast, Chubby Host, because back in the day when he used to host on ESPN, I think he was a little like your brother, little Joey, little Chub. Yeah.
As a
Choast.
guy who hosts things, I'm offended because I'm chubbier than John, but it is what it is.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you
Appreciate
so
you, man.
much.
Have a good one.
Thank you guys for
All right,
having us.
buddy.
Take care.
Yeah, but John used to do this chat when he first started doing ESPN MMA Live, and he would have this chat. And there were a lot of MMA fans who would get in this chat, and he would type in this chat, and I would sort of peep in and call him Choast, and it started to stick. So there are some original OGs that when I throw that nickname out there, they know it. But no, someone just put out a recent post of John with George St. Pierre in 2009.
Oh, that was a great
Choast.
photo.
Yeah, dude.
You look a little chubby.
Did he like
His
take
baby
offense
fat,
to it
though.
and
He's a
made him
baby.
want to lose weight, or was it like it just happened naturally? He started getting into
I
health.
think just it wasn't as if it was, he was huge, but just much more regular exercise, sort of. as you get
beating
closer to 30. Yeah,
Twinkies or-
yeah, but like that was 2009, and since 2010, I don't think that guy existed. So he's gonna love this. I'm gonna cut this up a little bit.
You got a nickname besides the upgrade?
Oh, Ben Davis. Ben Davis tried to give me some nickname. Bilal and I called some fights for APFC, so Ben Davis tried to give me He called me the Juice at one point, but then people talking about OJ, so they're like, that's not going to work. And then he called me Jaguar last time out. But you got a nickname? This is TJ DeSantis, everybody. I was trying to find out what the T and the J stand for, but so if anybody can search the internet, help me out there, because he doesn't want to tell me. He says it stands for nothing. Just T and J.
Anything.
It's really TJ?
There's the ID. I like it. Oh,
wow.
It doesn't stand for anything.
No middle name.
No, but the signature looks as if there could be some name. I like it. So it's just TJ.
TJ.
I like it.
My mom wanted to name me Todd, and my dad wanted to name me Butch. And I'm TJ.
Oh, Dad, that would have
Butch would have been
You
fun.
know, I wonder how that would have affected your career. If your name was Butch,
yeah.
you might have done some things.
I probably
different things.
You'd be interviewing me about my title fight tonight at 185 pounds. Yeah. So here's some trivia. I don't know if either of you get it, probably not, because I only know the most obscure things about the UFC. There was a brother of a fighter who fought in the UFC only one time, I think, and his nickname was the Upgrade. You know who? Ooh. From Boston, Massachusetts.
Now I'm really disappointed. It's gotta be old school a little bit.
From Boston.
I don't even. Man, I wish Kenny Florian was here. I need to phone Kenny Florian. You know, it makes me think of Joe Stevenson because he had that great nickname, like Big Daddy or whatever. But no, help me out.
Who was it?
Dan Lozon.
Joe Lozon.
Oh.
No, I said Joe Stevenson. I meant Joe Lozon.
Yeah.
That's what I meant to say.
Yeah,
But no,
sorry.
I wouldn't have been able to pull his brothers.
The Upgrade. Unfortunately, he didn't look
nice
like
It wasn't really
nickname.
upgraded.
Yeah.
Proper Mike Malott. I wonder the origin of that nickname. That's a great nickname.
That's a really good nickname. I like that one.
That's the thing about nicknames. Like, I like nicknames that are earned. You got to earn a nickname. You can't just make up a nickname. Like, you asked me if I have a nickname. Not really.
Yeah, I hear you.
Some bad, like, old radio nicknames. They called me the Teen Neanderthal because I was a big, clumsy guy and I was a teenager. So,
Yeah, when I first got into fighting, like they would ask me, "What's your nickname?" And I was like, "The Punisher, the Bulldozer."
Right.
I was just like making up as an amateur fighter, you're just making up these weird ones that you get from WWF wrestling.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Remember the name. Like I just want to be remembered
Right.
for the fight type thing. So I was like, all right, that can stick.
It works.
I
And
like
also,
it. Yeah,
you know,
stick with it.
bully is a,
Bully's
you know,
great, too.
obviously it's different context, not the best term, but that's like a nickname that people call you.
Yeah.
Like I call you bully half the time.
Yeah, that's my nickname. But like you said, context of it. I don't want to have shirts that say bully and people like, you love bullying. And I'm like, I'm Sean Strickland, bro. Yeah, I love bullying. I want to be that guy.
yeah. But, I mean, there's, like, bullying someone in an MMA fight is actually like a skill.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
And
it's all
that's your
context.
style.
And I do tell people that all the time. Like, what did you like bullying? I was like, no, I hate bullying. I'm against bullying. That's why I call myself Bully B. I beat up bullies.
Yeah, there you go.
Let me just tell you, having 2 letters for a name, kids would try to give me just the most derogatory names based on what TJ stands for.
sure.
I'll tell
I'm
you
sure.
all of them off the air. None of them any good. No.
It's not going to be PG-13.
Yeah, no, definitely not. So, what else we doing?
So, some of these other fights on this card, right? So I'm going to just pull up the fight cards here because I want to ask Belal about some of these fights, right? So, all right. Brad Katona, Garrett Armfield. Is that the matchup? Any thoughts on that one out of the gate? Katona has some little momentum, I think, here.
Yeah, I mean, I think Katona is one of those guys where he didn't deserve to be cut after his first run in the UFC. I think he was always good. He's a very skilled fighter, and to win the Ultimate Fighter twice, like everybody always says, that's one of the hardest processes to go through, and to be willing to do it twice is crazy, right?
Heck of a fight with Cody Gibson, too. That was a phenomenal fight.
Yeah, that was that fight, too, where, like, it's remembered. It's one of those that could have been the fight of the year, and for a guy like him where people are like, oh, this guy has a boring style, this, and this, and to put on a fight like that and get you excited. So you're hoping that you get more momentum now with this fight against a guy like Garrett where, you know, people want to see you get a finish here, and I think this is a fight where he can get a finish. So Garrett comes out full force, and he leaves openings with his defense. And if Brad, who I think is honestly one of the top contenders right now, and he could skill-wise with anybody in that division to compete with all them guys, I think you get a finish here tonight and make a big statement.
You know, there are a lot of Canadians on the card tonight. We mentioned last night in Vancouver, I think it was 6 out of 6, you know, that they came through. And a lot of the Canadians have favorable matchups and are favored in these spots. Marc-Andre Barrios is one that is not. He's an underdog facing a former victim of Belal Muhammad, Chris Curtis. I think this is going to be a good spot for Chris Curtis here. Any thoughts on that matchup at middleweight?
Yeah, it's another one of those fights. I think it's a good rebound fight for Chris, who's been in there with some of the best guys in the world, and especially in the UFC. We've seen him get wins over huge names in there or compete with some of the biggest names in there, and I think that experience is going to pay dividends for him, who's, I think, what is his 40th fight in general?
Like 40, something like that.
A guy
Crazy.
with 40 fights is crazy.
So I called a fight of his in Mexico, in Sinaloa, Mexico, of all places. And he lived up to the nickname that night. He was all action. He threw a guy over the top rope. Or no, it was through the ropes in a ring, onto the concrete floor. And he was fighting a guy named Juan Tyson Grano. It's on Fight Pass. Go watch it. This dude, goes out of the ring like a pro wrestler, crushes his ribs on the apron of the ring, and then gets back in there, and then Chris TKOs him. Yeah, because why not?
That's Mexico for you. Literally, I fought Mexico. It was supposed to be my first pro fight. I go down there and I fight, and then I win. And then the guy tells me on my way to the airport, my driver has money in his pocket. He'll pay you from that, or I'll send you a check in the mail later. And I was like, well, how much does he have in his pocket? He's like, oh, he has like $200. I was like, well, you owe me $600. So
right.
I'll wait for it to come in the mail. He's like, all right, cool. Never heard from the guy again. And it didn't go on my record. And I was like, bro, I'm never fighting in Mexico again.
Yeah, so Sean Shirk fought Matt Hughes at UFC 42 in Miami for the welterweight title. Lost, got cut, and fought around the Midwest a little bit. And he ended up fighting in Nebraska. This was in 2003. He beat a guy. The promoter handed him an envelope. Sean goes to his car, gets to his car, opens the envelope, and goes, there's no money in here. Goes back inside, promoter's gone.
Wow. Doesn't shock me. You hear some stories. I mean, Dominic Cruz talks to me about when he started a fight. He's paying to fight. Paying to fight.
I mean, that's jiu-jitsu still in a lot of ways. Now we got this FBI thing on UFC Fight Pass.
Speaking of jiu-jitsu, did Aljamain Sterling compete against Chase Hooper last night? And I didn't even know the result.
Won a split decision.
Did he? Split decision.
He won a
Good.
split decision.
Good for both guys. So, co-main event. I believe we have not made picks yet on the co-main event.
No,
is that
let's
correct?
Do it.
So let's start. I'm going to put the pressure on the host, TJ DeSantis, and start with you, if you don't mind. You are a mixed martial arts savant. This co-main event is interesting. For me, I'm not going to make a pick here, but it's hard. Raquel Pennington, I've known her for a long time. I'm so excited for her to have this opportunity. Certainly don't know Mayra Buena Silva as well. Buena Silva seemed very emotional when she was on the scale, but that may be very normal for her. So we can start with you, TJ.
Oh, man.
Who do you like, co-main event?
So it's one of those fights where it's my heart is with Rocky, but my head is with Buena Silva. She has all the tools. I think that she's going to go very far in the sport. Whether or not she wins tonight, if something happens where, I don't want to say the odds are so long it's slipping on a banana peel. That would be disrespectful to Rocky. I do believe that Pennington is still very much dangerous, but Buena Silva has all the ability to not only win here tonight, but I think she's a good matchup against Juliana Pena, down the road. I think that she can do a lot of things against upper echelon athletes here, and I think she does it in a big way. And again, I think I'll be entertained, but part of me will have a heavy heart for Raquel Pennington if it doesn't go her way.
That matchup, Mayra Buena Silva versus Juliana Pena, that sounds fun. Who do you got? Bully?
Yeah, I think I'm with you right now. I think I'm going with Buena Silva. I think she's younger, she's hungrier. She gets better every single fight. To finish, Holly Holmes later in her career, but still to get a submission finish on her is huge, and it just shows how good she is with her submission game. She's just a dangerous girl, and any opening that Raquel gives, she's going to take it and she's going to run with it. So I'm going to pick her, but I'm definitely going to pick Juliana Pena if that fight ever comes.
Of course, it's your girl. Can we pull up the odds maybe again? I want to have Belal look at some of these lines. I know he's not a gambling man, but Belal, when you look at this board, right? Which underdog jumps out to you the most? Best chance? Obviously the main event, basically pick them. You've already picked the underdog a little bit there. But Raquel Pennington, Neil Magny, Marc-Andre Barrio, Arnold Allen. Of those four, which is the most likely to...
Honestly, I'm looking at my boy Neil, right? I just think that he's been in the game for so long to have over 30 fights. And just looking back at Mike Malott, it's a huge moment for him, right? We've seen how big the crowd was for him. We saw him yesterday taking a lot of that energy in and how crazy the crowd went for him. And also that could work in your favor or it could give you an adrenaline dump. And I think for Neil, who's been in this spot, he's been an underdog his whole career, and he just figures out a way to beat these younger guys. He figures out a way. He finished Daniel Rodriguez, who everybody thought was going to walk through him. He just makes fights ugly, and Mike Malott could get caught into that. I don't think he's going to lose, but I just think that he's definitely a live dog.
Yeah, and he certainly has an awkward frame. I just think Mike Malott, I think that 2.5 years off he took from fighting, coaching at Team Alpha Male, 32 years old. I'm telling you, I just think he's going to have a huge moment tonight. I don't want to jinx the kid because I'm a big fan. I met him. We played in that basketball game at International Fight Week last year. And a lot of these Canadians, or at least growing up in Boston, a lot of these hockey players I used to play basketball with, they were dangerous. But this guy, he had almost never played basketball. You'd see the athleticism.